and welcome to the Bout Nothin Podcast. This introduction brought to you by Java updates. Completely, I clicked the button to start recording, and a Java update popped up directly in front of it and ruined that intro.
You made one?
So bad. Instantly threw everything off. Had to restart. I'm joined by Dylan this time. Ian is
big surprise.
Not around. Yeah, I want to get Chase back on and start talking about stories again because that was really fun.
If we can coax him out of his fucking cave again.
Yeah, dude, he's hiding in his room. Today, we asked him if he wanted to go out and to eat because I got paid and went the weekend off. So I was like,
motherfucker sent me like multiple unsures, and I'm like, bitch.
Yeah, he always says
more
unsure, which
than
is
not,
a disguised
that means
no.
A yes.
Oh, no, that's because we just forced him.
That just means he needs extra convincing, quote unquote.
Unsure just means I kidnap him.
Right.
If he says no, I'm like, no means no. But unsure means yes.
It's the only instance in which we don't have to summon him.
Yeah, and God, summoning him takes so much effort, you know. Trying to find 9 foxes, 2 virgins,
3 rains.
Yeah, 3 rains. Oh man, and some whiskey. It's just so much
if
effort.
He were here, he'd probably say 4.
4. Yeah, no.
Yeah, we're lowballing it.
We're low. Yeah. Well, in this economy, you know,
he's an ethereal being. He doesn't have to worry about the economy.
I know, but we have to. He wants 4 rains in this economy. Ugh.
He'll reimburse us.
Reimburse us. Ethereal reimbursement.
Right.
Yep.
What would that consist of? Just good vibes?
Actually, just like ethereal goop.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man.
It can be traded for goods and services.
I take it back.
think.
I don't want no goop. Not the chase goop.
What if the consistency's like nice?
There is no nice consistency for what the fuck are you talking about? Are you high?
Goop
consistency.
Anything called goop does not have a good consistency.
No. Automatically, that makes me think of viscous and or just
viscous,
gooey. It's
sticky.
Yeah, no. Automatically
vom.
Big vom, bro.
So on the last episode, we talked about animes that I hated or didn't like, and protagonists that suck.
Right.
So
of the 2,
this has been a
2
little,
or 3 shows you took a look at.
It was 2 that I didn't really like. I started one that I kind of enjoyed, but the one that I started, I was not really taking super seriously. It was like after a shift, I would watch one or something just vibing.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't like watching it for like.
Right.
I was kind of more like Saturday cartoons kind of thing, or something to kind of laugh at. Or it was like a lighthearted one. But we also on the previous Aftermath episode, because this episode's been a little bit overdue.
Right.
I had work, which I've said that excuse a lot, but a lot of work stuff came up. So
is it really an excuse if it is genuine?
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. So my plan was to have that one released, and then we watched Golden Boy right after, and then have this episode released earlier, but it just took a little bit longer.
But it is 6 episodes.
It's a very bingeable show, yeah. But on the combination of the Bout Nothin podcast last episode and the Aftermath, we had a couple of recommendations, and one of them was Golden Boy. And Golden Boy, did I not know what I was getting myself into?
I tried to warn you as best I could. There's really no preparing for that.
There's no. And the problem is, I didn't expect it to be good. I hate to say it, but I didn't expect to enjoy that so much.
Well, no, I mean, I figured you'd enjoy it because of how stupid and funny it is.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not
but what else? What's the other takeaway here?
What do you mean?
I felt like you were building up to something else, as far as why it was good.
Oh, okay. No, I'm gonna get into that. I just didn't expect it to be good. You know, I liked the story. I like that the character is. I believe in my notes, I put that he's either. Bumble King, but also he's either based in a cringe way or cringe in a based way, whichever comes first.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure what we settled on was cringe in a based way. Let me find the notes that I managed. There we go. He's based in a cringe kind of way. That was what we decided. I was just because he's at the beginning of the show. At one point you paused it in the first episode. The Yakuza are strong arming this family out of money, and he turns around like he's gonna fight them, and the guy looks at him and he just turns down an alley and walks away. And you were like, is that what you would do?
Taking notes around a corner.
And I regularly talk about how, because of my job, if I see something going on, I just mind my business. There's so many 911 calls for just random things that did not need it. Just people sleeping in their car or something. That now I'm not. I hate to say it, guys. I'm not a good Samaritan. Like
He's got the government mandated bystander syndrome.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'll be honest. Bystander syndrome is something that it sounds like it exists. Maybe in big cities it does, because it sure doesn't around here. We have the opposite problem. People call 911. 4 or 5 people call 911 for like a guy just walking down the road.
Yep.
Because he's like has a limp or something. You know, like just random things.
Yeah.
So now, no, government mandated. I'll be like,
sorry about it.
No, legitimately, I'll look at someone and be like, oh yeah, someone's gonna call 911 about that. Hell no, it's not going to be me. Yeah, keep walking. Now, mind you, there is an upper limit. I know whenever it needs to be called. So if there's like a house fully engulfed in flames, of course I'm going to call the fire department.
Somebody's dying right in front of me.
Yeah. If someone collapses, I might, I'm like, yeah, okay, duh.
That's the maybe cutoff
Yeah,
for you.
right.
Someone dying in front of you.
If I
it's like, I might know how to help you, or at least make things a little less bad.
Yeah, no, help is
in that moment.
Whoa, I'm not going to help. I'm just going to call. I'm a professional 911 caller.
No. I mean, like you're just giving him the once over, like looking at him and being like, "Oh man, I could do something about that real quick."
He could be. I like lean over. I'm like, he's got a pulse.
Or
he's fine. I just walk away
and just tell him what to do. It's like, okay, look, man, I know you got a big old hole in your chest, but what you need to do? No, don't pass out. Don't pass out.
No.
Stay away.
He's gone. I'm calling it. I close his eyes. I'm calling it. Oh man, yeah. He just collapses in front of me. And I feel for a pulse. He still has one. He's good. Somebody, all right, you're good. Just leave. So damn. Like I was like 100%. If that's what you were asking, I would do that. If I see a gang trying to fight someone, I'm not built different. No. I'm walking away. I'm just minding my business.
Right.
I'm trying not to get killed.
Factory issue, bro.
But then at the end of the first episode, the family's looking for him after him doing all of his, based in a cringe way stuff. And they're like, oh yeah, he donated all that money you gave him to us, and he just ends up being a wholesome guy. And the whole show is that.
Yeah.
The whole show is him being a cringe ass degenerate,
right?
Who cannot
super pervert,
like weaponized perversion, a Herculean amount, right? And then the episode ends, and you're like, wow, he's such a wholesome guy, 100%.
Wow.
Like I love him. Yeah,
I take back every awful thing I've ever said about the guy.
Yeah, except for the fact that he's a pervert. Because God bless.
He's still
one of the funniest shorts of any like anime I've ever seen. The swimming scene is in this show. Like, so
how do you like my swimming?
I did not know that was where this came from, because you showed me that in high school. Like you said that you found that and then you watched the show because of that, and you showed me that scene in high school. So it's been ages.
Yeah, I've watched the first episode. I was like, man, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
I didn't do any research. I just figured out what the name of it was, and then it was just like, bam, let's go.
And episode 1 really doesn't pull any punches. Yeah, no, it's
this fucking lady.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like a mix of things.
Sorry, these fucking ladies.
Yeah, but also I love this scene where he's opening the book in front of her. And then
he's like showing her.
While she starts reading the pages of the book, and he says, "Oh shit!" The dub is so good. Yeah. Oh man,
he's got this little notebook that he keeps like all of his life lessons and like valuable information in.
But most of it is him diagramming women's bodies that he's walking around and talking about what women like, I guess, in the most
eyeballing their
way.
Measurements.
And getting it right.
More or less.
Apparently every time, except for the one time that a girl fell on him and he's like, I was wrong, the measurements. And I was like, are you joking, bro?
Jesus Christ.
It's like horrible, but in a great way.
It's just funny.
And I have a quote from you in the first episode, because
nobody ever quotes me on shit. This must be good.
At the end of the first episode, I was like, I forgot what I said. I was like, it's funny. That's not what I expected. And you were like, yeah, I like it because, quote, it's not that raunchy. And I know that you mean compared to like actual straight up, there's no like straight nudity or sex scenes. It's just what's going on. Yeah. But you cannot watch Golden Boy and call it not raunchy. You can't.
I mean, you see a few nips, but that's about it.
You can't watch Golden Boy and not think, what am I watching? But at the same time, like, like I said, it's actually like good. I like that there's a sort of through line of him just traveling around working,
Right. Doing all these odd jobs.
Legitimately thought the announcer for the show, whenever he intros it, he describes what's going on. He's like, he may save Tokyo, or who knows, he may
Maybe
even
the world.
save the world. And I'm like, is this 6 episodes? Is he going to save the world?
No
And then he's like,
fucking way.
or maybe not. Apparently, what he did save was animation.
Right. An entire studio that was supposed to draw up a movie.
Like, it's insane. And then he runs off again because he always thinks that it's going bad.
Right.
And then everyone's like, why did he run? He's so great. So they're chasing him. So the show ends with all the women he made along the way are trying to chase him down, which is just hilarious.
Mind-boggling.
Yeah, like it's because he's such a pervert.
Right.
So all like 6 or 7 women trying to find him because they want to marry him is just outlandish because of how terrible of a person he is.
Exactly. Especially the first lady dude.
Yeah.
Whenever he was on his knees begging.
Yeah.
And she spits.
He catches it in his mouth.
He's straight up. He goes right from groveling and begging on his
crying,
knees.
and then as soon as she starts spitting out, he's like, like, it was horrible. It was so bad in the funniest way.
Yeah.
But again, the thing is, like, he's terrible. Also, I think I have it right here somewhere. Oh yeah. Well, I guess I'll get to that. I'll get to that when we get to the end. But yeah, so episode 1, man, it really helped. But then episode 2, I didn't know how to feel. Because episode 2, my only note is that he wasn't the degenerate in this episode.
Yeah.
It was the girl. He's working for someone who's trying to get a political position.
Is trying to get himself reelected.
Yeah, and the mayor's daughter just likes messing with people because she can't.
Right. She can get away with it.
She gets away with it, yeah. And she thinks it's funny. So she toys with people, and she's a degenerate, flirting with people all the time and deliberately putting herself in situations that make it difficult. And then if anything goes her way, doesn't go her way, then she just says that they
foul.
She says that they touched her, and they get their asses kicked. And like the whole episode, he's just like a wholesome guy. He's still like low tier pervert, but like the whole episode he's doing just fine.
An infatuation with toiletry.
We're gonna get to that.
Okay. You had a note set aside.
No,
okay.
do I ever have the last episode has a note on
Jesus Christ.
And so my final note for episode 2, if you decide to watch along, I encourage it. Is episode 2? He was based in a straight up based kind of way, like legitimately. She lied and said that he touched her or something, and while
if you forgo his inner monologue, then yes.
Well, even in his inner monologue, I guess, okay, but even...
Dude, the shit he says...
Oh, yeah, no, okay, no. You're talking during the whole episode where he's like, oh my God! Yeah.
Right. The fucking scream whenever...
Oh, man.
Whenever she, like, falls on him or some shit, he's like,
woo! Yeah. That was such a good... That's exactly what it sounded like.
It's so good.
And then that's whenever she falls, and he falls directly, and it's her inner monologue is great too, because she falls on him directly, boob in hand, and then she's like, haha, checkmate, and it swaps to his monologue, and it's just a scream. It's a scream, and then he's like, my size was wrong, it's actually a C cup.
I was off by
like 3/4 of an inch. Yeah, and it's like, my God, dude, what is happening? And at the end of the episode, while he's getting his ass kicked, instead of trying to out her for being a liar or whatever, he just takes it and he's like, but I care about her or whatever.
Right.
So
I love her.
So then, then she starts crying on the textbook like, no, he was great, but then he leaves. And the mayor's like, no, he's a good guy. I like him.
They escort him out of town.
Yeah, and he's just like riding his bike, which his bike goes Mach like 12 later. We'll get to that.
The most reliable two-wheeled machine I've ever seen.
There was one toward the end where he is racing the woman on the motorcycle, and I'm wondering how he's doing it. And I forgot that his brakes broke at the beginning of that episode. We'll get to that one later. Episode 3, I'm going one by one on the episodes this episode because there's only 6 of them.
He had notes for each.
Yeah, so there's only 6 of them, so it's pretty easy to do a breakdown, I guess. Because the only note I have is it's a slice of life, I guess. Because in this episode, the girl is just like a wholesome young girl, and he's like not that much of a creep. Yeah. And he's just working at a soup shop because he wants to learn how to make the best noodles. And he's trying to impress a guy who's apparently really hard to impress because he likes the
one
noodles a
of the
specific
regulars.
way. So it's like this is just like a slice of life, and it was like a really good episode of like corrupt businessman does corrupt things.
Right, the
and
fucking yakuza.
Except again, it sneaks his way in because there's still that point whenever he tries to woo the girl by kissing her, and Golden Boy stops him,
Takes one for the team,
and he goes. But apparently, it worked too well because he's in shambles after that. But
destroyed.
he's like corkscrew tongue. Like it was the most.
It had a name.
It was he had it was a special move. He called it. Yeah.
Jesus.
So that one was a fun episode.
Right.
I don't have as many comments on it because as funny as it was, like
the animation at certain points, like whenever he's trying to convince the girl not to go through with this whole marriage proposal, like that entire scene was just extremely like fluid.
Yeah.
Like very natural, almost like it was fucking rotoscoped.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like the main draw of the show for me is the animation and just how good the style looks.
Yeah, sorry, episode 4 is when it gets good. I was looking at the notes. Yeah, actually, I really liked the animation. It is a bit dated, but just
in a good
like
way.
watching it, especially when we get to the water physics in episode 4 and things like that, among other things. But like, just the show's actually really well animated. I really enjoy it, especially because toward the end when they start, or I should say the last episode, they're talking about how animation works, and they basically like break it down for you while you're watching the show in like a fourth wall. Dude. I think that was really neat. Yeah. I like how we're like actually talking about the things we like, right? Because like this is what I'm saying is like it's still like super perverted, and you should not watch it if you're not 18.
Yeah, exactly.
But
not
also
something I would ever show anybody.
Yeah,
else
yeah. I wouldn't recommend it to someone just being like, oh, you don't really like anime? I've got something for you. That's like when people are like they're not a big fan of anime. Like I probably wouldn't pick Gurren Lagann for them because there's so much fan service and stuff in it. But the progression was it for me. Yeah. That was the only anime I liked really at that time. So like, it worked for me. I mean, there's got to be some for someone. But like in this case, I didn't choose it, and you didn't even choose it. It was chosen for me by the internet.
I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, and you were like,
I have to.
Oh no. It's worth mentioning the other thing that we settled on that was chosen was Delicious in Dungeon, but you wanted to wait until the seasons are done, or at least until a season's done or something.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to split it up in seasons just yet, but it's at like 20-something episodes. I caught up and then just read the manga and finished the whole damn thing.
Oh, really? Okay, that's why you want to. Okay.
Right.
So that's something we're going to watch. And once we're done talking about Golden Boy, I'll talk about what we're watching right now as well. But yeah, so episode 3, I was like, okay, I thought this show was about Golden Boy being a pervert. And the last 2 episodes, one was a slice of life where he's kind of a wholesome guy. Again, inner monologue's rough, but like whatever. We're watching a perverted guy. Yeah, like whatever. But episode 2, he wasn't even the problem. Inner monologue being, notwithstanding, he wasn't even the problem. Episode 4, I've got one note for it. We're so back.
Jesus Christ.
Episode 4 is the one where he tries to sign up for a swimming school because he thinks the teacher's hot.
Yep.
And boy, oh boy, is this episode. Is she? Yeah, but this episode is. It's episode 1 again. Like,
yeah, I'd say so.
Somehow
worse, I think.
Yeah, it's when he finally catches up to her swimming.
Oh my god. I can't.
Like
that entire scene.
Legitimately, I have no idea where to start. This episode felt like it went on for an hour. Because the last 2 episodes did not feel that long. The first episode felt kind of long, but like it felt actually like the duration it was, like 24 minutes.
Right.
This one felt so long.
Yeah.
But not in a bad way, but it's like watching a train wreck.
Exactly.
You just can't look away, bro.
It's like a car crash.
He kept digging his hole deeper, man.
Yep.
But this does have, if you want to look it up, this is completely safe for work. If you want to look up the video we're talking about, you want to find the English dub version because it's way funnier in my opinion. But you got to look up Golden Boy, How Do You Like My Swimming? English dub on YouTube. Man, funniest scene ever. All that, it's like a minute long, and it's just at the very end he touches it. So how do you like my swimming?
Right. Like he didn't just almost kill himself.
Like he didn't just die. At one point, there's bubbles going up. He's done. He's out.
Right. He just goes under and doesn't come back.
Actually, honestly, if watching that was funny to you, watch the whole show. But I'm warning you.
Yeah.
So
it's dangerous. Make
I'll
sure
be honest.
You're alone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, watch it. Lock your door.
Or with a very good friend.
So on to episode 5. I captioned this one "Goonette."
Oh no!
Because in this,
that is what it. Yeah.
Yeah. In this episode, this one isn't like episode 2 where he's not the degenerate; it's the girl.
Right.
In this episode, they're both terrible.
Right. Yeah.
They're both awful.
He goes to work at a shrine.
Yeah.
As one of the monks.
Well, on the way to the shrine, he sees the motorcycle girl though.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
tearing up the road.
Yeah.
And as he works there, he notices one of the maidens is like the most beautiful, fairest.
The fairest of them all. Yeah.
Most respectable woman he's ever seen.
But also, he's trying to learn what's it called? Etiquette and stuff.
Right.
She's like the best
An
at
honorable
etiquette.
way to live.
Yeah, and she's like the best at that, the most upstanding person around.
Down to a science.
Yeah. But then, on her days off.
Turns out to be a facade.
Straight up goonette, bro.
Right. Lets the beast out.
Yeah. Oh, boy, does she.
Christ.
She doesn't like men
got
because
her own cave.
She doesn't. Yeah, she has the goon cave.
Exactly.
Yeah. She doesn't like men because no man can please her the way her motorcycle does. That's a quote from her. And she said it in a few more words than
call
that.
It?
It's her.
My BMO baby.
Oh, Ian just turned around. Oh, I think the motorcycle is called the BMO or something, and she calls it BMO baby the whole episode. Right. And Ian turned around whenever I said that no man could please her like her motorcycle can. Yeah, you heard that right. Don't worry, this episode gets better.
Right.
So he walks in on her. Actually, just before this scene, he's waiting. He's waiting for a sign, and he's like, "Well, I need to fix my brakes, and if there isn't a sign, then I'll leave today." And the sign was he saw her leave all proper in her clothes, her official clothes, whatever, the fancy clothes.
Kimono.
Yeah, that thing. So he follows her with no brakes on his bike.
Right.
Finds out that she's motorcycle girl, and he's just peeking around the corner. And I can't tell which one's worse, him peeping on her doing this or her stripping her clothes off while revving up her motorcycle to get off, I guess. I don't really know.
No, that's what happened.
That's pretty much what's going on. And so she's progressively taking clothes off, and eventually he announces himself, or I think stuff falls over and gets caught. Yeah. And she's just standing there completely doesn't even acknowledge that she's naked.
Right,
she's
she just doesn't care.
Sup?
The fuck are you doing in my cave?
Then she explains that men ain't shit, and that her motorcycle's better, and he's like, I'll race you on your motorcycle because I'll show you that I'm shit. God. And because he again,
I'll show you that I'm him.
Yeah, I am him.
You must have amnesia.
Yeah. So he decides to race her, and much like the rest of the show, he's stumbling his way through it.
Mm-hmm.
He has no brakes.
Right. Hitches a ride on a car that she pissed off that is now tailing her.
And then goes downhill, and he gets lucky.
Flung off.
He has to ride the bike on electrical lines.
Yes.
Yeah, power lines. And then she loses her nerve because she doesn't think that the bike can make a ramp and he just goes for it. I don't think he makes it. I don't remember. He survives, obviously.
Right, yeah.
But I don't know how he makes it or not. Either way, he just goes for it, and she's like, wow. He sure does. And of course, she's at fiending at this point.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, never mind. You're like, men ain't shit, but he's him.
He's the one.
He doesn't care. He's actually
the guy.
He's suicidal. That's how much balls he has. So while he's falling to his death, she's like, wait, come back. You have to have sex with me, I think.
Right.
Oh yeah. The prize was if he wins the race, he gets to have sex with her. That was the prize. And so while he's falling down, she's like, wait, you have to come and claim your prize. And I'm watching this like, you're joking.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And the only reason is he has he's sweating and freaking out because there's no brakes on his bike.
Yeah, he's just a peddler.
Once again, bumbling his way through
Can't
it.
Stop.
And that episode's ends with him being like, the narrator's like, he might still be driving to this day. Like he
Right.
can't stop. He doesn't know what he's going to
says.
do. So honestly, that one 4 and 5 are like tied for my favorite because 5's horrible, but man, is it funny. And 4 is just such a good episode.
Right.
And lastly, it sure does tie it all in a bow.
Right.
Because the last episode is like it all. Oh, I forgot this chair squeaks. I was moving it too much.
Squeaky.
It all leads up to this in episode 6.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to save this and learn how animation works, and he loves the job because the whole premise of this is that he doesn't like having full-time jobs. He dropped out of law school, but he had all of his credits to graduate law school.
Yeah.
So
He just left.
yeah, he just left. He was like, I don't want to actually do it. So he's apparently really smart, finished law school early, and then dropped out.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't want to work full-time. He likes doing part-time jobs. So he just stumbles his way through
This
life.
and that,
He's
every
definition
which way.
of hobo, where they're homeward bound. You're
Right,
just
a
going
vagrant.
wherever you want. Yeah, he just so he's
The
you know,
nomad.
doing whatever. And so in this job, he's trying to help out with this and wants to learn how to animate and all that, which is nice. He finds a girl that he thinks is hot in the workplace, like every other workplace. But the place is...
But he's nice with it, though.
Yeah, he's a little bit nicer with it here, at least. And the place is falling apart and needs people, so he calls in favors from all the last 6 women from the 5 episodes before to help him in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And they all do because they're like, we finally... Because after every episode, they try and find him. I mean, at least the 5th episode was clear why they tried to find him. She's like, you have to claim your prize because she wants to smash.
Right.
So he calls each one because they all have something they're good at
Right.
that he needs them for.
All of their skill sets just so happen to line up with what he needs help with.
And so at the end, the movie apparently is fantastic, but he's over here like, this isn't good. I need to leave. So he leaves, and all the people are like, that was so good. We have some cleaning up to do, but that's great. We're going to... Thanks, Golden Boy. Where'd he go? So then the show ends with them all in a car trying to chase him down while he's riding his bike, thinking, I'm just going to get a new job, I guess.
One of my favorite parts of that episode is the little cameo poster for Golden Girl.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, man. And so also the quote, I really like the quote. You're really weird, kid.
Right.
And it was leading up to this because we mentioned it earlier. In 4 out of 6 of the episodes in this show, so a really good amount,
Right.
he ends up kissing a toilet. At some point, a woman sits on a toilet and he's like, I'm going to clean it because it's just my job.
Right.
But also, she sat here.
Right.
Like, he just fiends so hard.
ridiculous.
And every single time he kisses the toilet, someone walks in. Someone sees him do it. This is not like caught in 4K. Like they see this go down.
Balls exposed.
To the point where on the cover for this, like on the box art, there's a toilet. That's it. There's a toilet on this. And I can't rate it. I can't give it a rating out of 10, and I won't. This is rating pending.
Right, unknown.
Because I really enjoyed it, but I cannot recommend it to anybody. And on top of that...
Not because I don't want to, but because I shouldn't.
I can't, yeah. I think that ethically and morally, I should not.
Right. This is a besmirch upon my name.
Yeah.
If anyone should know that I find...
Yeah, but so this is my unofficial recommendation to watch the show. Because,
yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was... Thanks for recommending it, fans that told me, listeners. I say
you can
fans.
check that one off.
Yeah, listeners.
Tuck it away forever for no one to see.
Yeah, no, I'll watch it again. So we moved from that into what was recommended, like unironically, one of the things that was not only recommended, but you've been wanting me to watch for a while, which is Cowboy Bebop. We only watched a couple episodes of it,
right?
And then I was looking for something a bit more lighthearted to watch, sort of like Golden Boy or other shows that are more like lighthearted and you can just chill out and have it on kind of in the background. And we settled on Space Dandy, which apparently is in the same universe. That was kind of just a convenience there.
Right.
And I'm in love with this show,
It's
dude.
so fucking
This is
good,
actually amazing.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like there's so it never makes sense, and I love it.
It's perfect.
Oh man, oh man, how did you find this show?
I watched the premiere whenever they aired it on Toonami. They did I think it was that they aired it in the U.S. first, and me and my sister just sat down and watched it like every time it came on.
So you'd been anticipating it.
No, I had no idea. She told me about it and was like, "Hey, come check this out." And I was like, "Okay, sure." And it was fantastic. One of my favorite shows to date.
Yeah, if space travel ever becomes a thing, I'm changing my name to Space Ethan.
Yeah.
Because apparently his name's Dandy, and he's a dandy guy in space.
Right.
But anytime people say, like, oh, what's your name? He's like, Dandy, but you can call me Space Dandy. And it's like, space travel's normalized at this point.
No.
But he's just like, I'm Space Dandy.
He makes it cool.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying he doesn't make it cooler. He does. But it's just like, people do space travel all the time. There's aliens everywhere.
I love his ship.
And he's just like, oh yeah, you can call me Space Ethan. That would just, that's like calling me like, my name's Ethan, but you can call me America Ethan, like, like or something like that. Like his ship is dope.
Continental Ethan.
His ship's dope, especially because it transforms into a giant fighting robot and has a death laser. No spoilers, but that's a thing.
Mm-hmm. The Aloha way.
Once again, we moved from one show into the next, though, because we took from Golden Boy and we went down a level and up a level in the actual, like, I could recommend this to someone as a cartoon. But, like, Boobies is still a restaurant called Boobies. Also, this premiered on Toonami?
Yeah.
I guess it's not, like, egregious, but still, like...
Dude, they showed Ava on Toonami.
That's a good point.
Or at least the rebuild films. I can't remember if it was the actual show at one point.
Yeah. So I've been enjoying it. This has been it's been really fun. I would 100%. I think we need to stop beating around the bush with restaurants like Hooters and Twin Peaks and stuff. I think that we need to have a restaurant called Boobies. I think that I would respect that more. You know, I think that everyone would respect that more.
Right.
Like yeah. I work at Boobies.
G meets Double D.
I forgot that was
that's the best.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't? I would work there. I would work there. I'd just be some like manager guy. Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, but I don't have Double D, but like, you know, I would work there.
Work those pecs.
Yeah. My Double D man tits.
Oh god.
Oh man. So we've been watching that, and we're gonna do Cowboy Bebop as well. We only watched a couple episodes of it though, but I'm stoked for how that's gonna go.
Yeah, we've been keeping a good track record so far. I was telling you like a couple of days ago, last time you were over, I think that I do not want you to get burnt out. Like I was at one point.
Bro, when were you? I didn't know you were really burnt out.
It was a long time ago.
When I guess what got you, was it Seed that got you burnt out?
Yes.
Oh, I'm actually surprised that I guessed it right. Yeah.
No, because dude, you'll understand.
One day we're gonna watch Gundam Seed, and I'm gonna figure out why it's so bad. Seed lovers, get out of here.
No, Seed lovers are almost like just this adorable little subset of humanity that I'm.
Oh, I thought you were about to go way.
No. Trust me, because I'm. It's people like Seed for the same reasons moms like soap operas. That's the best way I could describe it.
Yeah, I can get that.
And holy shit. I hate soap operas so goddamn much, dude.
And let me tell you, soap operas can eat it.
Fuck off the edge of my dick.
Oh man, I thought you were about to be like, yeah, Seed lovers are just like the special little kid. Yeah, you know, he's just a youngin'. We think he's dumb, but it's okay.
No. See, I admire anyone who genuinely enjoys Seed because they're stronger than me. Okay.
What a way to put it.
That's the best and nicest way I can put it.
Oh man, so. I don't think I'll get burnt out. Well, because the thing is, I've been really like straightforward, pretty much with you about it. Where like, yeah, I can't watch anime right now. Right. You know, or you know, whatever. So even though I was really enjoying Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, we had to take our time with it. I wasn't interested in watching anything. A mix of things, the type of stuff that happens in different animes, what we're watching at the time. Sometimes the animation styles, I just can't. Sometimes I'm like, I'm out right now, and so. For me, there was a point where through both Full Metal Alchemist and through Standalone Complex, I enjoyed both of them. But there was a point where I was like, I'm just not really interested in watching that right now. Like, which is funny because once we finished that, toward the end of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, I was I was in because it really when it picked up the steam, and it keeps steam pretty well the whole show. But right at the end, you're getting stoked for the climax, so it keeps on going along. And so I took that straight into the next show that I wanted to watch, which was Free Reign. Like I already knew that I would love that.
Oh yeah,
like I told you, like even though it somewhat surprised you that was something I wanted to watch so bad, like that I already knew that I wanted to watch it. Right. I already knew that I was gonna like it, and I did. I loved it. There's so many memes going around about it that I love.
Let me tell you what I think my greatest accomplishment of this whole tirade that I've taken you through has been, and it's from a while ago. I remember I had asked you if you wanted to watch the rebuild of Ava movies at one point, and that night we just watched all 3 of them in a row.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm amazed I was able to get you to do that in any capacity.
Yeah.
Because right now, I had shown you scenes from it before, of course, like how fucking radical the fight scenes are and everything.
Yeah.
But everything else seemed like the hardest pitch.
Yeah, sometimes it's better if you just don't pitch it. Especially for me. I don't know about everybody else, anyone listening, how it works for you. But for me, the less I know, the better for almost everything. I don't want to go in knowing anything about it. Games, movies, TV. I want to know nothing about it. I want to watch it. And yeah, sometimes it's kind of inconvenient, so I have to ask questions. But I would rather watch a show with somebody, especially because you're really good about it. Like, I'm going to give you that credit for sure. You're really good about it. Where if I ask a question that's answered shortly after, or it's better if I wait till the episode when it's answered, you just don't answer it.
Okay.
You're like, nah, that gets answered, right. You know? Or like, I'll be like, so is that person dead? And you're like, just wait, just shut up. You know? And so I love that because then it's like an answer without an answer. Like, it doesn't matter if they're dead or not right now. We'll get to that part,
right,
you know? Or like, it doesn't matter if that's, but if it's something that's like not answered that you know because you had to look it up yourself or you've read the books, then you'll pause it and just be like, okay, so you don't know this because of whatever reason, or maybe you just missed the line. Because again, sometimes I'm just watching the animation because I'm like, wow, Free Reign elf magic, and just not reading. I'm like, I missed the last 3 lines.
She just told that girl to kill herself.
You should kill yourself
so
now. Oh man, God. So I'll be watching it and be like, I missed like 3 lines. Were they important? You know. Right. So like every once in a while, it's probably something that I missed, but I like it. I would rather watch a show with someone who knows what's going on. And if I have questions that I'm like, wait, this fight, like, or like 2 people are fighting or something, and they clearly hate each other. I'm like, wait, do they even know it? Why do they hate it? Like, did I miss something? Yeah. There's a lot of like, they're saying things that like they know each other. I missed something. And you're like, that's answered later. I'm like, oh, okay. So the whole point is for me to be confused right now. That's fine. Yeah. You know, like, so I would rather watch it and be confused. And if I have a question and finish a season and I feel like that question should have been answered, look it up and figure out if that's answered or not. And I just missed it and I'm just retarded. Like I would rather do that than know anything going into it. Like knowing, oh, well, here's the concept of the show and all. Like I don't want to know.
Shit, I did that exact thing whenever I started up Lost Planet 2 for you like a day or 2 ago, where you had asked me what the story was and what was going on, and I was like, okay, let me go into an in-depth step-by-step explanation so that he gets the picture. After they just went through like a whole monologue, like explaining what the situation was.
But also, like, I mean, I guess it depends a little bit because like I'd never heard of Lost Planet 2, and this isn't like a new thing I'm trying to play or get into. This is something that you enjoyed that you're just teaching me about.
I have to show you that whole fucking game.
I know, but it's so like, that I would play with you or watch you play or whatever. Right, that's not something that I'm gonna get on my own because this is something that was like that was like you grew up on or something,
and is now hard to play.
Yeah. And so it's like, that's kind of different where it's like a new movie coming out. I'm not watching anything. The new game's coming out. I'm not watching. I don't want to know because it's like, it ruins it. Especially I played it really safe, almost unintentionally so, because I didn't know that Kingdom Hearts 3 released when it did. So like I played it super safe. I knew that Kingdom Hearts 3 was announced. That was it. I know nothing about it. Apparently all of the ads and teasers straight up spoil so much of the story. Like apparently while trying to build hype for the game, they just show off like half the story of the game.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like it was ridiculous. Now I never watched any of them, so this is just from what I've heard. I can't attest to that because I didn't do it. But I played the game through and I was like, let me see some of the like critique because I didn't really enjoy the game. I'll just say it. So I was looking up critiques of the game to figure out what other people thought about it as well because I was like, I'm not a fan. Am I the only one? Am I weird? And while watching it, a lot of people were critiquing that part, the hype building part, and I was like, oh, I didn't know any of this happened. So this is other people's opinions that I've heard. I never watched it. But going into other shows, like, to some degree, I could say this happened with Freerin, but not really. I'd watched a couple of random episodes with you and Chase.
Right, whenever me and Chase were watching it, you had said
and just didn't know what was going on, but I kind of thought it was cool looking. So then I kind of learned the concept of the show that way. So I did kind of know going in sort of what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
But like, other than knowing that Space Dandy's lighthearted, like, and you were like, it's funny, I like it, you should watch it.
Right.
Other than that, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Cowboy Bebop, legitimately, what do I know about this show going into it? I knew Space Cowboys. Space Cowboys. I knew that.
Right.
I knew if you like Gurren Lagann, you'll like Space Cowboys. I think that's it. I'm pretty sure like four.
That's a wide fucking comparison to make.
I think like 6 or 7 people recommended this. Not even like not you recommended me this show. Like, and I knew it was wildly popular, and I wasn't super because again, the only thing I knew about it was like, oh, like Space Cowboys, Space Bounty Hunters. I was like, not super interesting to me. Like space generally is not. Which is funny because we're watching like Space Dan and Cowboy Bebop. Like all these things I love. Space generally is not my like thing. I actually prefer like the more medieval magic stuff. I don't know why. I think it's neat. But I like both forms of media, so it works out, I guess. But so I knew basically nothing about it other than it had been recommended a lot. That's it.
It's considered one of the all-time greats.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh,
Hall of Fame type shit.
I guess I'll watch it. Yeah, I mean, shit, why not? So, but like going into like any film, TV show, game, I don't want to know anything about it. I want to experience it. That's it. And I think, in my opinion, if I am supposed to have seen anything, unless it's like a sequel game, if I'm supposed to have seen or consumed any media to understand what's going on beforehand, you did a bad job. If I just buy a game and play it, I should be able to understand what's going on. Right. Unless it's a sequel game. Like, and the whole point is that this is just thrown somewhere in the universe. I should be able to understand. If I just watch your show, I should be able to understand what's going on, or things should start getting put together and explained. Right. I shouldn't have to watch ads, teasers, and know a guy just to understand the show. Like, I should. So in my opinion, whenever I'm like trying to get into a show, it's like, I want to know nothing about it. I want to experience it the way it was supposed to be experienced. And I think that you're supposed to experience it without any of these other, ads and stuff.
Outside factors.
So, yeah, and that's pretty much what happened with Cowboy Bebop as well. And is that I didn't really know anything about it. So I kind of forgot how we got on that tangent, though. So that's how I like to experience any form of media in general is to just play it or watch it or whatever. Right. So with Evangelion, you showed me those films.
The rebuilds.
You didn't really have to pitch it to me. It's almost better if you just show it to me. It's like it's better if I just don't explain it. So for me, like that wasn't pitching it isn't really something that
especially
applies
with
for me.
As convoluted and fucking crazy as it is.
Yeah, but even still, and I have said it before on the Aftermath. I don't know if I've said it here, but I really wasn't a huge fan of the Eva movies until the most recent one, or the last one that came out. Yeah, because I was like, I just don't really get what's happening. And at the end, it's like, yeah, it's all about the indomitable human spirit, overcome and live in the day. I was like, oh, cool, I get it. All of them were great. Yeah, this is fantastic.
Pointed at the screen and was like, oh, fuck.
Oh, man, my girl's going to pierce the heavens, bro. And that was it. That was all it took.
Yeah, my dude's about to Neon Genesis.
Oh my gosh, she'd be Neon on my Genesis till I Evangelion. I got him the Bass Pro Neon Genesis Evangelion hat. I feel sick.
My favorite and only cap that I have.
Oh man, yeah, it's a good hat actually. Like I kind of low key want. Oh man, yeah. So like for me, it wasn't really much of a pitch. So I sat through it, and again, I think I left that night, and I was like, they were, again, the fight scenes are cool and I do like it, but also like, I don't really know if I like get it. And you're like, there's a lot not to get. I mean, you're like, there's so much that's not really explained to you. It's just
I feel like by this point, you know me well enough to know relatively the things that I enjoy and what will sell me on something.
Yeah.
And for Ava, it was the mere concept of the titular mechs, quote unquote.
Yeah, and that makes sense, yeah.
Because what they did was they just synthesized a big-ass humanoid creature from the progenitor of life on the planet itself and strapped a bunch of armor, gave it weapons, and was like, here you go.
Yeah.
Drive
and then
it.
they made children.
Yeah.
Horrifying.
Only works with children.
Also only works with children. I wish we could explain it. Hard to butterfly effect, hard to explain.
Right.
Like,
Now, see, already that sounds fucked, right?
yeah.
But if at any point during a fight these things lose control, either by way of like receiving critical damage or just having a backdoor code used, they wake up
Yeah.
and just start going berserk.
Yeah,
And it's
they
the
wake up and
hypest
you
shit
don't
in
want
the
them to
whole
wake up.
fucking show.
Yeah.
They got teeth. They got fucking AT fields that are used as weapons.
They make these horrible roaring sounds that are terrifying.
So cool.
Haunts your nightmares.
Right.
Yeah.
I love them.
It is pretty sick.
My favorites.
Yeah.
At least on one end of the spectrum. On the other end, you got either...
I'm an elf.
No.
No.
Like, mech-wise is what I mean.
Yeah,
Like,
I was just joking.
shit like the Big O or Gundam, like real robots, stuff like that. The in-between as far as, like...
Yeah, which that's another thing he wants me to watch is the Big O. I haven't watched. I mean, that's one that because you told me a little bit about it, that I was like half sold on it. So I do know a little bit more now because you showed me a couple of things, but generally I'm still fairly blind on it, and it'll probably be on the list.
I know for a fact I've shown you like a couple fights from the series, but other than that, it's been precious little.
Yeah,
and I want to keep it that way.
Yeah.
Since me and Ian recently started rewatching it, and dude, it is so flippin' good.
Yeah, and that's like what I'm kind of realizing is like. Which, I mean, obviously, you can't like rule out an entire like form of media and be like, yeah, it's not my thing. But for a long time, I was like, yeah, dude, no, anime's not my thing.
And I don't blame you.
And that's because, a lot of it, like you scroll through Crunchyroll and read some titles. It's not my thing.
And it's going to turn you off like nobody's business.
Yeah, 100%. But...
that time I ate a bowl of soup that made me realize that I was going to die in like 50,000 years. So now I'm going to train every fucking day to avoid it. That's ad lib, but I'm sure something like that exists.
I thought that was a straight up title that you just found.
Jesus
I'm going to scroll
Christ.
through a couple of names if they're funny, and I'll read a couple of them to you.
Oh God.
I forgot where I was going for that one. But I was saying that I was ruling out the entire like form of media basically, but like there are like a lot of things that you can't do in like live action and other that, or like that you don't necessarily want to be a game or that won't be that you can do in anime, like fight scenes and type ways that magic work in worlds. Like magic in live action movies is very like limited just because of what computer imagery can do, like just what look good on screen.
Yeah, that's the general appeal of animation as a whole.
Is that you can do just
whatever you want,
anything. And my only thing is that I find it, which I know there's probably going to be some recommended to me, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I'm not necessarily looking for recommendations for this though. It's just something that I've kind of noticed is that I find that most anime is not nearly like graphic enough,
right?
Like I don't know. I want some gore. Like at this point,
and there's more than a few.
There are, and I also know that some just from people I've seen commenting on shows that I've watched and stuff is that generally the manga has way more like graphic stuff in it, and that they just kind of dial it down for anime. Which
it's a mixed bag. Some shows are able to adhere to the series like word for word, T for T. It's nice when it does that. I can think of like more than a few examples that don't, either because the manga wasn't finished yet and they just kind of did their own thing, or they just took a shot out of left field and did something completely like just not even in the series. But other than that, I mean, it's few and far between, at least from what I have watched.
And it's like I don't necessarily like need a recommendation for something that is graphic, because it's not that I want to watch a like graphic anime per se. It's just that a show that I'm already liking or enjoying, I don't think is graphic enough. Where it's like I'm watching this and I'm like, come on, man! Like you, like I want to see that person get torn limb from limb. Sorry, that magic should do that. That's how that should work.
You're gonna like Doro.
Hell yeah. So as for I was saying, I'm going to read off a couple of names. I have one here. I was reincarnated as the 7th prince so I can take my time perfecting my magical ability.
Oh my god.
Chilling in another world with level 2 super cheat powers. These are just random. I know nothing about these shows. They could all be good as hell, but these are just titles. As a reincarnated aristocrat, I'll use my appraisal skills to rise in the world.
Bro, I'm telling you, any show
those 3 alone, I'm going to stop
there. Has a title like that, I'm fucking not.
I'm out, yeah.
Nah.
So
it's off the list.
Scroll through those names and you'll quickly realize, like, this isn't for me. But there is still plenty of stuff that's really good out there. Again, there is a lot of things you can do with animation styles, especially because some of their animation's really good, dude. Really good. That you're not going to find another forms of media. So, like
Gundam Hathaway.
Yeah,
fantastic example.
That was
the cream of the crop.
I had to watch that again. Actually, it's been a while. That was really good.
I need to figure out what. Well, I know we're gonna finish Iron-Blooded Orphans at some point, but I need to figure out which Gundam it's gonna be after that.
Oh yeah, don't we still have like quite a bit of Iron-Blooded Orphans?
There's a lot.
Yeah, we didn't make it too far.
We're a little ways through the first season.
Yeah, we didn't make it too far. Which I mean, I'm okay if it takes a while. We can just do it slowly. Like, I'll every once in a while watch it or something.
Right.
Yeah. So. I kind of feel like I'm at this point now where I'm like getting into different like animes of different types, but I'm like more willing to try it. So I don't know, going kind of back to what you're saying before, like try, like hopefully you don't get burnt out. Like I don't think I will, because I do still go through phases of like what, but I think I've kind of learned that like it has its niche of something that I can enjoy. I don't think I'm ever going to be like an anime guy who like enjoys anime a lot, or like it's, which I say that, I guess, but I have been on multiple podcasts talking about the anime.
The list is only going up.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I've been on multiple podcasts now talking about the ones that I've watched. And I guess that's because it's something that's worth talking about. You're trying to get me into it, but still, it's kind of funny that I say I'm not the anime guy and I have a podcast where I pretty much principally the last 3 episodes have talked about it. Right. So, I mean, yeah, call me a liar.
Right.
But yeah, so like it is nice like to go kind of, dip my feet in a little bit once in a while.
Yeah.
And I've been enjoying it. As a side note, though, speaking of things we're going off of the anime, this episode is mainly the Bout Nothing was mainly about us watching Golden Boy, because I want to do that. But are there any games you've been playing lately? I know you've been playing Lost Planet 2 again. I know that because I saw you playing it today.
Right, dude.
Getting back in.
Give anything for another game like Lost Planet 2. I was talking Ian's ear off about this like a couple days ago or yesterday even, because after going through the like level-based campaign for it, it only solidified the fact that this is I can't think of anything else like this that I've played before.
Yeah.
It takes place like on one planet from multiple viewpoints and perspectives. And at the very end, they all converge.
Oh, okay. So it's like that storytelling is like, okay. You know, that makes sense. Yeah.
And it's so cool.
I really like it whenever like books and stuff do that.
Yeah.
Where like there are 2 characters, or like sort of like an example of that's like Game of Thrones, where you're following multiple characters, and every once in a while you can tell there's like a build up of like this person's going there and this person has to do it, and you're like, they're gonna cross paths. This is gonna end bad.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if the show or the book. I mean, I'm sure the book did it better, but just following these characters and stuff, that's an example of that. Like, there's a couple of games and stuff that do it too, and man, that is really cool. I do like that.
I'm telling you, dude, it has it all. Everything that you could possibly list that would immediately sell me. It's got giant monsters. It's got mechs. It's got sick-ass weapons.
Genetically / like robotically altered people.
Technologically altered people.
Okay, yeah. Which is sick, by the way.
I know. Like, in the opening cutscene, they give the whole, like, diatribe about what the world is and what's happening on it and shit like that, where the entire population is comprised strictly of pirates and outlaws and shit like that.
Yeah.
And they are able to cheat death by using the thermal energy that is found only on this planet through the local wildlife.
Hardcore.
And they have a device that you put on your forearm called a harmonizer, which basically just gives you superhuman regenerative abilities.
Yeah. Which I was like, when I was watching you play through that intro to the game, I didn't fully understand. So I didn't get how cool it was. But when you're explaining it, and I understand it, it's pretty cool. It's pretty sick.
It's a hell of a recipe.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
You get so many different vehicles to pilot and shit, dude. It's like the other thing I like about it the most is how varied the levels are.
Mm-hmm.
You go to every type of locale imaginable.
Yeah, which I think that's also cool. Like a lot of games do a very bland across the board type of level design and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
through restrictions or otherwise, but even if it's a choice, it's still like some games are able to pull it off. I know the original Halo had a lot of decently
varied level structures.
Right. Yeah. Towards the latter half, the main thing you'll hear from people is that it ended up looking a little samey because they were recycling older areas and stuff like that. But I mean, that's still one of the greats for me. I grew up on that shit. I've got a bias towards it, so it's gonna stick around as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But it's just got that crazy ass Monster Hunter Capcom flavor to it.
Which this is something that I, playing through Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, was starting to think of. I think I'm gonna like Monster Hunter. I think I need to get into Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Because I was enjoying. I don't even think that they're that similar. They could be totally different, but just playing that, and from what I have heard of Monster Hunter, I think that's something that I've been sleeping on.
They're honestly very similar.
They are, okay, because I thought they were, but I haven't played any Monster, so I can't be the guy to make that statement.
No, yeah,
but
I know. I've played, the first one I played was 3 on the Wii.
Yeah. And I had a friend of mine who was super into it, and I thought it looked cool then, but this 6 years ago probably, that I watched him play it, and I was like, yeah, this seems pretty interesting. I might look into it. And then I kind of just never did, so I've just been sleeping on it. But after playing Relink, I was like, man, I think
now's a good time,
man.
They got that new one coming out soon.
It's 25, right? That's next year coming out. Okay, cool, yeah. So that's what I was thinking. It's they got another one coming out too. I might, get into it a little bit, and then when the new one comes out, see what people are thinking about it, see if it's good, and then hop in on that one. Yeah, honestly, maybe just hop into it, and if it's not good, then take the L. Because sometimes a new game, you got to be careful. New games coming out, there are some things that, I hate to say it because nobody wants to keep giving Bethesda money, but the next Elder Scrolls game, I've liked the other one so much that I'm gonna buy it. So it's I'm not gonna wait for someone to tell me if it's good. Whereas certain other games, I'll let it come out for a week or two and load test it and see if all the people are saying it's trash.
Right.
I'll do that, which I did with the new Star Wars games. The Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. And I waited until the port was good on PC for them and until people told me they were good, and then I bought them when they were on sale recently. So I haven't finished the second one. The first one is Fallen Order, I think. The first one I finished and got all the achievements for. That was really fun. A little bit buggy on PC. The port was a bit buggy.
Yeah, that was the other thing I heard the most about it.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. It was still playable, but some of the... It's a game I would recommend anybody play through it. I probably wouldn't recommend anybody try and get all the achievements and try and get all the collectibles, because I wanted to get all the collectibles and see what kind of fits I could get and have all that. But it's not really worth your time, I don't think. To me, it was just more difficult than it should have been to try and get all of them.
Yeah.
But I think it was a good game. On Steam, the Kingdom Hearts games re-released on Steam, so I've been playing that.
Of course.
And so this leads me into my next point is we are probably going to be playing different games for this in general. I'm not sure which one. It seems like there's, I don't want to say pressure because it sounds bad, but it seems like there's pressure for me to play Kingdom Hearts 1 and try and speedrun it. I'm not a speedrunner, but it seems like there's pressure because among my friend group, I'm the guy who's done it, I suppose.
Right. The only one.
Yeah. And there's also pressure for us/me. I'm not really sure who's playing it. I guess it's be both of us, but to play Metal Slug. I personally would like to start with a Metal Slug game and just try and make it through that, and then maybe do a sort of playthrough of that podcast style where we're just chatting and playing the game at the same time, which might be what happens. I would like to do that somewhat soon, though I can't promise anything because I also said I wanted to do this episode soon, and then things got in the way. So
almost a month later.
No promises there.
Right.
But yeah, so I think that'd be really neat if we start playing games and all that. Me and you are probably gonna start playing through Chain Memories at some point, which is gonna be dope. I haven't played that game in forever.
Yeah.
And I always enjoy it. Anytime I can play Kingdom Hearts, I enjoy it. So I'm trying to see if I can get Chase to get it too, though.
Oh God,
I want to get Chase. Chase is gonna no life it though.
Right.
He's gonna try and get all the achievements.
Oh God,
he's gonna invest so much time into that game. So yeah, I'm really really excited about it, though. It's been really fun, and I hope that we do get to sit down and record.
Yeah,
and just basically do what we're doing, but with a game in the background, which would make it a
waiting.
lot more difficult to talk because I'm already easily, as you probably saw earlier, I'm already easily distracted. So if I'm dying in a game, I will either be very bad at the game
or you'll
very
walk
bad
in
at
and
the
just go dead quiet.
Yeah,
for like half an hour.
You guys are just roasting me, and I'm just like, I'm him. I'm the emulation. Just start Dracula flow like again.
Right.
So. Oh man, but yeah, stay tuned for that. We'll figure out what game we're playing next, and I'm gonna do another episode. I'm gonna try and get Chase on for the next episode. That would be neat. Which that could take a while because the summoning just takes forever.
Right, much too long.
And in this economy, rains, enough rains to summon, expensive. So, but I would like to do that. So stay tuned for another Bout Nothin podcast episode, potentially for games. You can find us where you find your podcasts if you're listening there. That's cool. And if not, you can find us on YouTube at Hindsight Studios. I didn't forget to do it this time. I'm sure Ian is proud.
He's got it down.
At Hindsight Studios. But also, I think last episode, we had like significantly more listeners on YouTube. So if you guys are already on YouTube, hi, welcome to the party.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Thankies.
So we'll if you're new from YouTube, we'll probably be playing games too, so stay in tune. Hit that subscribe. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I'm supposed to show. Yeah, hit that subscribe button. Bell this thing so hard. Sorry. So
stay up to date on the latest videos.
Date. And don't forget to use my promo code. I'm not sponsored for anything yet, so I'll work on that though. But yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
See ya.
Goodbye.